Hi everybody, welcome back to this week's Mindset Moment. We are really excited to have you here today and thank you so much for joining us. For this week, we're going to be diving into 5 strategies to living a successful life. And before we get into that, it's really interesting because success isn't necessarily just about your income and your career, even though that's sort of what we're kind of brought up thinking, like I was anyways.
Yeah, a lot of times we are, right?
Yeah. Start with that when I was specifically focusing on one area only to have a successful life. I'm going to share a little bit of a story here. So looking back to May in 2019, I was working at another job. It was actually a new job, but an industry that I had been in for about 4 years. I'd been in this new role for about 55 days or so, and it just sort of hit me. I was sitting in this office, it's completely packed with people, but no one really talks to each other. It wasn't necessarily the most ideal culture in a way. And sitting there, whatever reason, this particular day, I finally realized I didn't want to do this anymore. I realized I was no longer aligned with the role, and I learned that because I had taken a program that we have, a leadership program, for 2 years. And from doing that, I was writing out where I wanted to go in my life, and I knew that this career in this industry just wasn't cutting it anymore, and I hadn't actually taken that step. I actually left that role and then stepped into a freelance position for myself, helping other people, and then went into building the Be to Have movement with Jamie. And the exciting part was, it wasn't actually until that exact point that I started to step into thinking about success in other areas of my life aside from only career. And that's really important because, again, success is never really that one pillar. There's so many areas that you need to focus on to achieve that fulfillment in your life.
Mm-hmm. And I love what you said, Jacklyn. There was a moment where you made a decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it got me thinking about when I started to think about transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going back over and reviewing some notes, and it was actually March 11th, 2018. And I was preparing for that leadership program that you talked about. And we were talking about self-image and confidence. And it was just like it hit me. And I really started to question what I was doing. And I knew I was going to transition out of that role at the end of 2019 and start our own coaching company in 2020. But it just hit me where I just couldn't wait any longer. So I literally made a decision that day that at the end of 2019, I was going to step out of the role. And it terrified me. I'm going in an entire different direction. I've never done anything like that before. I'd been in one industry my entire life. And as I was thinking about this and the fear of it, I realized I was stuck in that zone. And that's really what led me to just say, the hell with this. Really, I have to break free from this. And I made that decision. And when I made that decision in time, I felt the energy and everything came to me. I was terrified at the same time. But I made a decision in my mind first. And then I was committed to fulfill my role in what I was doing. We hit every goal that we had set up until the end of that year. And I walked away just so proud of myself and our leadership team, and we achieved our goals. And I learned so much from that journey and how everything in life it will happen. It tends to happen. Once you make a committed decision and you do things differently, your actions change. And ultimately, that's what led to us creating the Be to Have movement.
The interesting part of both of our stories is that, I guess for myself anyways, I was only focusing on one area that I wanted to be successful in. And as a result, all these other areas, I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy because, first of all, the area I was focusing on, being career, wasn't something I wanted to do. But also all these other areas of my personal life, I just wasn't satisfied with.
And I wasn't fulfilled. I think it just got to a point where I wasn't being fulfilled in what I was doing. I wasn't excited about all the other things.
Yeah.
And it just got to a point, like we said, you have to make a decision. And when you make that decision and you decide you want to move forward in life, everything changes, right?
So we're really excited to talk to you guys today basically about those 5 strategies.
The first strategy is literally that. Make the decision. Decide what it is that you want to do. Because once you get total clarity in that, you're going to basically just create a vision for yourself and move into that direction. And everything will start to, like I mentioned, start to show up for you.
And the second one is recognizing your strengths and weaknesses. And this tends to be something that we actually don't really take time to think about. But when you actually slow down to just reflect on what that is in your life, it really creates opportunities for development.
That leads into systems, right? So when you improve systems for both your business and your career and your life, that's going to create so much productivity and so much clarity for actually stepping into that.
And the fourth strategy is inspiring others through leadership. And the reality is that you can do really well on your own, but you're going to do that much better when you're doing something together.
Yeah, that's so true. And working together with people, first you lead yourself, right? And when you lead yourself, then you can lead other people. And then that leads into the final strategy, which is actually living that fulfilled, positive lifestyle. And when we can get into that space and realize that we have all the energy that we need to do what we need to do, and ultimately we have a sense of well-being, right? So lifestyle is, I believe, encompasses everything that we are focused on.
So we've touched on these really quickly today. We've given you the 5 strategies and why they're important. And we're excited next week because we're going to be taking some time to dive into each of these strategies and how you could start to implement these in your life. Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel, and we will see you guys next week.